Chapter 2502. 2502 Desolate Beast Lair under the Undying God Country. That's the Heaven Fey race, they should be the same as your subordinates. In the sky above the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden, Emperor Star Lady looked at the group of people fighting against the Desolate Beasts and said, the so-called Heaven Fey race was the Fey Beast race. They had their own intelligence and could transform into humans. Many Heaven Fey and humans lived together, and many Fey beasts and humans coexisted peacefully. In front of them, there were many Heaven Fey experts fighting with the Desolate Beasts. Heaven Fey were bloodline cultivators, they had their own upper limits, and according to the bloodline experts, they would determine the strength of the Heaven Fey. There's an Undying God King level 6 Heaven Fey fighting with an Undying God King level 6 Desolate Beast. At that moment, Emperor Star Lady pointed to a spot and said in shock, a level 6 Immortal King warrior could be considered a powerful warrior in any region. It should be to fight for the Immortal God Country. Wuxia muttered. His body moved and he came to the side. There were about 30 Heaven Fey. From level 1 to level 6 Immortal King warriors, there was only one level 6 warrior who was fighting with a Desolate Beast of the same level. The rest of the Heaven Fey controlled the Desolate Beasts, approaching the Undying God King level 7 Desolate Beast God Country. However, this group of Desolate Beasts were not much weaker than them, constantly attacking the group. At the back, there were over 1,000 God Lord disciples below Undying God King. They stared ahead with ugly expressions. Think of a way to enter. We cannot wait any longer or more and more powerful Desolate Beasts will be attracted. In the sky, an Undying God King level 5 warrior looked around with an ugly expression as he roared at everyone. The Desolate Beasts are not weak either. Will be hard for us to enter. That damned Desolate Beast actually summons so many underlings. Someone beside him replied with an ugly expression. We have to enter. It wasn't easy for us to find this opportunity. These damn Desolate Beasts. The group of Heaven Fey were filled with anger. It was not easy for them to find such an opportunity, but they were discovered by the Desolate Beasts here. If they continued fighting, they might attract more Desolate Beasts. When that time came, it would be difficult for them to get rid of this Immortal King level 7 Desolate Beast Divine Kingdom. Immortal King level 7 Desolate Beast Divine Kingdom. Wuxia looked over and his eyes were burning. If he could obtain this Immortal God Country, Ao Crab's strength could reach the level of an Immortal King level 6. Even if the treasures in the Desolate Beast Lair were not as many as humans, an Immortal King level 7 Desolate Beast would definitely be at the level of a king in the Lualman Desolate Beast Park. There should be many treasures in its lair. They are fighting, can we reap the benefits? Empress Star looked at the Heaven Demon Desolate Beast that was entangled with each other and said to Wuxia with sparkling eyes. This chance is very small. Unless you get Ant-Ing to make a move. Wuxia scanned his surroundings and said to Empress Star. No, we can't expose our identities. Empress Star shook her head. Wuxia stared ahead with a contemplative look on his face. Ao Crab, let's go. Beauty, you stay here first. Wuxia moved his body and immediately flew towards the direction of the battlefield. Emperor Star Lady pouted and watched as they flew over. Do you need help? Wuxia flew over and asked directly. Ha. Seeing Wuxia and the rest flying over, the group of Heaven Demons revealed a look of astonishment. A middle-aged man with 2 horns on his head and a long tail looked at Wuxia and the rest. All of you don't have the strength. The middle-aged man said coldly. Roar. As soon as he finished his sentence, Ao Crab's body moved and immediately transformed into a devouring dragon. Roar. Roar. Following that, 5 devouring dragons that were also emitting a terrifying aura immediately emerged from his body. The aura that belonged to a level 5 Immortal King was completely unleashed. Oh, they are also Sky Demons? The group of Sky Demons were shocked as they looked at the devouring dragons in shock. 6 level 5 Immortal King experts, this power was not weak in their eyes. Among them there were only 4 level 5 Immortal King experts. If you are willing to help us, we can give you 30% of the treasures in the Immortal God Country. In the sky, the old man who was entangled with the level 6 Immortal King Desolate Beast saw Wuxia and the rest. His eyes were shining as he shouted loudly. 30%? Alright. Wuxia nodded immediately and nodded to Ao Crab. Let's do it. Roar, roar, roar. Ao Crab and the rest moved and immediately flew towards the battlefield. My friend, Get your companions to tie down a few level 5 Immortal King level Desolate Beasts. Let's go in. When the middle-aged heaven demon saw this scene, a hint of excitement appeared in his eyes. He immediately shouted at Wang Xian. Sure, let's go in. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile on his face. Wang Xian was already very satisfied with the 30% of the treasures given to him. This immortal kingdom was obviously discovered by them and they had torn apart the void to find it. In addition, their group of sky demons had defended against more than half of the desolate beasts. To be able to get 30% was already quite a lot. Let's go. Help us defend against the surrounding desolate beasts. The middle-aged sky demon laughed out loud and flew directly towards the immortal divine kingdom in the void crack. Roar, roar, roar. The surrounding desolate beasts saw them flying in and let out extremely violent roars. One by one, the desolate beasts tried to charge in but were stopped by Ao Yao and the surrounding sky demons. In the sky, the level 6 immortal king revealed a smile in his eyes. But the moment he stepped into the void crack, Wang Xian could sense the savage aura coming from inside. Brother, I am the national advisor of the Tiger Chaos Demon Nation. Thank you for your help. The moment he stepped into the void crack, the middle-aged man introduced him to Wang Xian with a smile. His attitude was completely different from before. In his opinion, the identity of this young man in front of him who was able to order 6 underlings of the Immortal King was definitely not simple. In addition, they might also be from the Heaven Demon clan. They still felt closer to their own kind. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, we happen to hear the commotion here in the Luorman Desolate Beast Park. We are only doing this for mutual benefit. Wang Xian waved his hand indifferently. Wang Xian was still a little wary of this group of heaven demons. After all, he didn't know if there would be a conflict due to the treasures. However, he wasn't worried. At most, he could let Anti-Ying make a move from afar to intimidate them. Then let's enter this lair. This is the divine kingdom of a level 7 immortal king level desolate beast. It wasn't easy for us to find it. There should be a lot of treasures inside. The heaven demon imperial preceptor said to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded. The two of them looked inside and immediately flew into the depths. This was the first time Wang Xian had entered such an unowned immortal divine kingdom. Chapter 2503 2503 2503 Divine Parasol Tree. The lair of the desolate beasts can't be compared to ours. After entering the lair of the level 7 immortal king desolate beast, Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor looked around and said softly. The immortal kingdom of humans would turn it into an extremely luxurious paradise. However, the lair of the desolate beasts could not be compared to it. There are many divine trees around. They have fully developed their intelligence. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings with his yin-yang 5 elemental dragon eyes. The interior of the lair was not dark. Instead, it was emitting a green glow. There were quite a number of divine trees inside. Just as they entered the entrance, there were 4 immortal king level 3 or 4 divine trees. Their bodies were emitting a sharp glow as though they could attack them at any time. Would attributed desolate beasts like to place some divine trees in their lairs? These divine trees have given birth to wisdom. Their offensive strength is not high and they are the nourishment of desolate beasts. However, this is a rare treasure for us. The middle-aged imperial preceptor saw a few divine trees and his eyes revealed an excited look. Let's enter. His body moved and he immediately flew into the nest. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as he flew over, the 4 divine trees immediately launched an attack and were easily blocked by Wang Xian. The 2 of them easily blocked the attack and flew into the nest. Entering the nest was an incomparably huge nest. The entire nest was more than 10,000 kilometers in circumference. The entire nest was densely packed with godly herbs and godly trees. It was simply a large area. Hiss, there are so many godly herbs and godly trees. Wang Xian swept his gaze over and his face revealed a burning expression. There were at least 400 to 500 immortal king-level godly trees and a few hundred godly herbs. The rest were all at the level of the eternal God Lord. Furthermore, some of the godly trees bore fruits and emitted rich vitality and energy. The value of these divine trees and herbs was extremely terrifying. Even if it's only 30%, it's still a huge fortune. Wang Xian mumbled. That's immortal elixir would attribute essence. It's an extremely precious would attribute essence, immortal elixir. At this moment, the imperial preceptor of heaven demon was breathing rapidly. He immediately flew forward. Wang Xian looked over and a glint flashed across his eyes as he followed closely behind. There was a pool that was 2 kilometers in size. However, in the middle of the pool there was a pool of wood essence. Just by taking a breath, Wang Xian felt refreshed. What a terrifying wood essence! Wang Xian's face was filled with shock. It seems like the accumulation of this level 7 immortal king desolate beast is very terrifying. It is indeed unexpected. However, the owner of the immortal god country is the king of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. It is only natural that he has so many treasures. The Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor said passionately. Was he once the king? Wang Xian mumbled as he scanned his surroundings. Yes, according to the records of our chaotic tiger demon country, this king god desolate beast evolved from a wooden beam bird. Its intelligence seems to have broken away from the desolate beast. It can also be called a Heaven Fei. The Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor said. Wooden beam bird? Isn't it a very ordinary and weak bird? How could it break through to the immortal king realm? Wang Xian was a little surprised. It could be that it obtained some heaven-defying opportunity. As the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon said that, he looked around and said, let's see if there are any treasures. Wang Xian nodded and immediately flew towards the location opposite the essence of wood. That should be the location where the immortal king desolate beast was resting. It was a bird's nest made of divine trees. Wang Xian entered and took a look. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor also flew over and checked the surroundings. He didn't find any treasures. Even so, there were enough treasures in there. It was enough to make Wang Xian's heart beat faster. These treasures were more than what the Eastly Immortal Dynasty had accumulated over thousands of years. At this moment, Wang Xian's gaze landed on a wooden stick in the middle of the bird's nest. The wooden stick was 2 meters long and was slightly yellow. It seemed to have lost its vitality. However, when he saw the notification on the system, he revealed an extremely surprised expression. This is the Divine Parasol Tree. It's the Divine Parasol Tree. There was a flash of passion in his eyes. With a move of his body, he immediately grabbed the Divine Tree in his hand. With the Divine Tree in his hand, Wang Xian could feel a wave of energy coming from the ancestral tree. He could feel that the Soul Returning Tree, Endless Tree, Fuchang Tree, and Nirvana Lightning Tree were moving. It's a tree of the same level as them. Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat. Oh! Dragon King, what is this? At this moment, the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon noticed Wang Xian's actions and flew over immediately. He asked him. It's a powerful divine tree. It's a pity that it has lost its vitality. Wang Xian did not try to hide anything and passed it to him. The Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon took it and sized it up. Indeed, the grade of this divine tree is definitely not low. It's probably higher than all the divine trees here. What a pity. It's just a branch. It's useless. He shook his head as he spoke. I'll take this branch. Does Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor have any objections? Wang Xian stretched out his hand to take the branch and said with a smile. No problem. Its value is very low to begin with. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor didn't have any objections. He could still investigate whether this tree was a treasure or not. Alright, let's move this immortal kingdom away first. Is that alright? Wang Xian looked at Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor. Alright, I'll tear apart the space in front of us. Dragon King, you move. Heaven Demon Imperial Preceptor said. Alright. Wang Xian nodded. He immediately kept one of the withered branches of the Divine Parasol Tree into his body. The two of them immediately flew out of the nest. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Just as Wang Xian was flying out, a phoenix cry resounded in his mind. At the same time, the ancestral tree in the Dragon Palace of the Tianzi continent trembled. On top of it, a branch appeared. Walala. The ancestral tree trembled slightly. Streams of extremely dense energy entered the Divine Parasol Tree, causing it to gradually emit a green luster. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The sound of a phoenix rang out in the Dragon Palace, and Feng Luan and Guan Shuqing, who were in the Dragon Palace, trembled slightly. The entire Fire Phoenix Dragon Seed also felt a change that came from the soul. This is. Guan Shuqing and Feng Luan looked at each other and immediately flew into the Dragon King Palace. That is? That seems to be the divine tree of inheritance of the Phoenix clan, the Parasol Tree. Feng Luan looked at the branch and felt the energy fluctuations on it. Her body trembled slightly. Sister Feng Wan, look, that parasol tree divine tree actually grows next to the Nirvana lightning tree. Guan Shuqing pointed at the ancestral tree. The parasol tree divine tree and the Nirvana lightning tree actually slowly interweaved. The parasol tree divine tree can help the Phoenix clan to undergo Nirvana, while the Nirvana lightning tree is formed from another form of Nirvana due to lightning attacks. Sister Shuqing, I can sense that we can undergo Nirvana through the parasol tree and the Nirvana lightning tree. It can proceed and evolve to a very powerful level. Feng Wan's eyes were burning. Chapter 2504. 2504 Distribution of 2,504 Treasures. Wang Xian did not know about the changes in the Dragon Palace. At this moment he was located below the level 7 Immortal King Desolate Beast Lair. A majestic energy was enveloping him. Ka. Advance. Deep within Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor's arm, it immediately transformed into a sharp claw that was hundreds of meters in size. He waved his arm forward heavily, directly opening a passageway in front of him. To open and pass through the void crack and pass through it was something that even a top-notch godly monarch expert could do. With the strength of Wang Xian and the Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor, it would still be difficult for them to pass through the void crack. It would consume a huge amount of energy. The space crack in front of them was torn open. Wang Xian carried the entire immortal divine kingdom forward at a rapid speed. In the normal world, a group of desolate beasts sensed the movement of the immortal divine kingdom. They let out furious roars as they frantically tried to attack the direction of the immortal divine kingdom. However, the Tiger Chaos Demon country's strength this time was very strong. With Ao Crab and the rest attacking, the desolate beasts were completely suppressed. Even if they were to go berserk, they could not break through their defenses. In the sky, the Tiger Chaos Demon country's Undying God King level 6 expert had completely turned into a huge beast, completely suppressing the desolate beast. The powerful suppression made the desolate beast unable to resist. However, it was impossible to kill it. Haha, good. The Tiger Chaos Demon country's level 6 Undying God King looked extremely excited when he saw the God country move. This time they had succeeded. Although they had paid 30% of the profits, it was totally worth it. If not for this group of people, they might not have gotten anything. Miss 6 Undying level 5 warriors. At this time, not too far away, Aunt Ying's silhouette came to Emperor Star Lady's side and said softly, "That guy is a little abnormal, they are improving too quickly." Emperor Star Lady looked at Ao He and the others. She knew Ao He, how could he be so strong before? How long had it been and he was already an Undying level 5? He's very abnormal. I wonder what kind of opportunities the Dragon Palace has. Miss, do you still remember the two girls from a year ago? Aunt Ying exclaimed softly. You mean Qing Yu and Shu Qing? They are much younger than me, I can be sure. Emperor Star Lady muttered and nodded. Yes, they are very young, their space beast is even more terrifying than the towering snake, and their own strength, they are also undying emperors. They are the Dragon Empress of the Dragon Palace. I wonder if they are one of the 10,000 races in the center of the universe. Aunt Ying shook her head and said, Are there really 10,000 races in the center of the universe? Emperor Star Lady asked doubtfully. According to records, there is a center of the universe, this is not something we can come into contact with. Aunt Ying said, looking ahead, Let's go, we'll follow that Undying God country, to prevent this group of sky monsters from having any thoughts. As she spoke, she brought Di Xingnu along with her to follow the divine kingdom that was located in the void crack. We are already at the outer perimeter. After traveling through the void crack for an hour, the Imperial Preceptor stopped panting and said to Wang Xian, It should be safe here. Imperial Preceptor, get your people out of the desolate beasts and return here. Let's start distributing the treasures. Wang Xian smiled and said to the Imperial Preceptor, All right. Imperial Preceptor Tian Yao smiled as well. He immediately broke through the void and sent a message. More than an hour later, figures flew over. Ha, little crocodile, how are the treasures in the immortal godly nation? In the middle, a wild-looking old man said excitedly to Imperial Preceptor Tian Yao. Grandpa, there are a lot of treasures in there. It's comparable to the accumulation of our entire godly nation. Grandpa, the most important thing is this nest, this divine kingdom, and the large amount of wood essence inside. With them, Grandpa, you will be able to. The celestial demon Imperial Preceptor spoke with an excited expression. but he did not say the last few words. All right, all right. When the old man heard his words, his body trembled and he flew over with an excited expression. Dragon King. At this moment, Ao Crab and the rest also flew over and shouted respectfully. The Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Fei looked at Wang Xian and whispered a few words to the old man. Dragon King, right? It's fortunate that you guys helped us this time. We will definitely not lose you guys for 30% of the treasures. However, please agree, Dragon King. We want to complete this immortal divine kingdom. The old man cupped his hands at Wang Xian and said, All right, we will enter the immortal empire. You can choose the treasures first. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. We will not take advantage of you. Dragon King, whatever you want, you can say it. The old man was slightly taken aback and said with a smile. Let's go in and talk. Wang Xian smiled and entered the immortal empire directly. The members of the chaotic Tiger Demon Nation were not as ungrateful as the Iron Blood Alliance. They did not play any tricks in the distribution. Thank you, Dragon King. Speaking of which, the chaotic Tiger Demon Nation has gained a huge advantage. The essence of wood and the entire immortal empire belong to them. The remaining 300 immortal trees and more than 100 immortal herbs belong to Wang Xian. The elder from the chaotic Tiger Demon Kingdom was very satisfied with the distribution. He spoke politely to Wang Xian. From our point of view, we have also gained a huge advantage. Wang Xian smiled as well. He was also in a good mood after trading with such a straightforward person. Such a terrifying resource could increase the number of immortal kings in the Dragon Palace by more than 100. However, Wang Xian did not plan to sell or devour these trees. These immortal trees were planted in the Dragon Palace and were a sustainable resource. Each time, the results would add a lot of experts to the Dragon Palace. It was a slow and steady flow. Dragon King, let's leave a contact number. Welcome to our chaotic Tiger Demon Nation as a guest. We will definitely treat you warmly. The old man was very friendly with Wang Xian. Both of them left a contact number. Following that, the Imperial Preceptor of Heaven Demon Nation also left a contact number with Wang Xian and invited him to the chaotic Divine Empire. Wang Xian declined with a smile. He waved his hand and left. This time he had made a huge profit. That Dragon King seems to be very young. His subordinates are very strong and have a noble bloodline. He should be a powerful tribe of Heaven Demon. The old man said as he watched Wang Xian leave. Yes, Grandpa, I have also sensed something. They are of the same kind as us. That Dragon King seems to be open and above board. We can befriend him in the future. Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor nodded. Go back, this time I have a huge chance of taking that step. The old man's eyes flashed as he looked at the undying god country beside him, his heart filled with excitement. As long as grandfather can break through in our region, there aren't many who can match up to us. Heaven Fei Imperial Preceptor revealed a look of longing. Chapter 2505 2505 2505 Guardian of the Imperial Court. How's the harvest? In the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, the Empress asked Wang Xian curiously when she saw him return with a smile on his face. The harvest is not bad. Wang Xian smiled. The harvest this time was indeed not cheap. Not to mention the divine tree of God's grass, just the divine parasol tree branch was already a huge profit for him. The divine parasol tree was a tree that phoenixes lived on. The reason why the phoenix race was able to stand at the top of the universe was largely due to the divine parasol tree. Now that he had obtained the divine parasol tree, he could vaguely sense the changes in the ancestral tree in the Dragon Palace. The divine parasol tree, the fire phoenix bloodline, and the Nirvana Thunder Tree. Perhaps the Dragon Palace would be able to give birth to a powerful dragon seed. Continue with your work. Wang Xian looked at Imperial Star Lady and said to her. She curled her lips slightly and did not continue speaking. But the group of them moved and flew towards the opposite direction. They were now at the edge of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park opposite the Iron Blood Alliance. It was a long distance away from the Iron Blood Alliance. It would take at least half a day to fly there. However, Wang Xian did not plan to stay here. After flying for more than 10 hours, they arrived at the central area of the Lualman Beast Park near the Iron Blood Alliance. Ao Yao continued to search. After arriving, Wang Xian immediately ordered them. It's the Dragon King. Ao Yao and the rest continued to search for desolate beasts in the surroundings. According to Wang Xian's plan, They should capture at least 3 to 4 Immortal King level 4 desolate beasts this time. Now that he had already captured one, he was still short of 2 to 3. Next, Wang Xian and the rest buried themselves in the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. When he found the desolate beasts, he immediately tamed them. When he could not find them, he began to study the array formation. Time passed day by day. It's this planet. The young man with the potential to become an emperor is here. However, at this moment, above the star source planet, a vast ship had descended. This was an ancient sailing ship. It looked like it was made of wood, and the green light on it flickered from time to time. This ancient sailing ship seemed to be sailing from the center of the universe, quietly floating in the sky above the star source planet. On the sailing ship, 2 old men stood quietly in front of the old man. The old man was dressed in plain clothes, looking like an ordinary old man. They looked down and murmured, "Found it." An old man held an ancient compass in his hand, looked at the display on it and said with a smile, "Let's go." With a thought, the sailboat that was dozens of meters in size instantly appeared in the sky above the star origin planet Overlord Sect. Voila! In the next instant, the sky above Overlord Sect was torn apart. FUCK, what's going on? Who wants to sneak attack me? Invincible Battle Technique. Invincible Battle Technique's voice sounded. When he sensed the situation around him, he was slightly stunned. In the crack in the sky, Invincible Battle Technique looked at the 2 old men standing on the sailboat in astonishment. "Who are you?" He stared at the 2 of them warily. "Bloodline, what a strong bloodline, haha, good. One of the old men looked at the compass before staring at Invincible with a burning gaze. "You. What are you trying to do? I'm warning you, my invincible combat technique will become an existence like the Void God Emperor in the future, you." Invincible Battle Technique trembled when he saw the look in his eyes. He shrank his body in fear. The 2 old men in front of him gave him an unfathomable feeling. This was the first time he sensed such a terrifying person. Furthermore, the other party was able to pull him into the void crack so easily. One could imagine his strength. "Wang?" An old man looked at him and smiled. He waved his arm and a token emitted a dazzling light. On the token there was a big word, "Guard," and behind the word, "Guard" was an ancient-looking courtyard. "What is it?" Invincible in Battle stared at the token and said in confusion, "The Guardian of the Imperial Court." An old man said with a smile, "The Guardian of the Imperial Court stands on the Imperial Court and has guarded the Imperial Court for hundreds of millions of years. He doesn't hold authority, but he is above it." Another elder added with a smile, "What do you mean?" Sir, please explain clearly. The Imperial Court? Is it the Supreme Imperial Court of the Imperial Star Field?" Invincible's eyes lit up as he immediately asked. "The Protector of the Imperial Court is independent of the Imperial Court. His duty is to protect the Imperial Court. Although he doesn't hold any authority, he can have resources that you can't even imagine. No one under the Emperor of the Imperial Court can worship them. Within the Imperial Court, even if you have committed a heinous crime that cannot be judged by the Guardians of the Imperial Court, no one else is qualified to be judged. As for U.S. Guardians of the Imperial Court, we are the peak experts of this resplendent world. Brat, your talent is very good. You have been chosen by us." The 2 elders said to Invincible in Battle with black faces. "Damn, so awesome, ha, I want to join. 2 masters, I have the talent of an emperor, can I be a very high official?" Invincible heard their words, his body trembled as he said excitedly, "You're only at Undying Emperor level 1, you're the weakest amongst us. If it wasn't for your talent, why would I want you, kid? Do you know what we, the Guardians of the Imperial Court, represent? Alright, we'll take you away immediately." The 2 old men looked at the random Invincible fighter and said unhappily, Wait, I still have to tell my parents and my teacher." Invincible fighter said quickly, "Stop talking nonsense, we will secretly bring your family to the central region. Don't worry, in the Emperor Star Field, nothing will happen to them." An elder waved his arm and directly grabbed Invincible Battle Technique and threw him into a room inside the sailboat. "Damn, we are from the same department after all. You are bullying newbies." Invincible Battle Technique screamed, and the door of the sailboat was closed. "It's so good to be young." The 2 elders looked at each other and revealed a smile. With a wave of their arms, the sailboat disappeared into the starry sky. In the next few days, a huge incident happened between Tianzhe continent and Star Source planet. Tianzhe continent, the core members of the Battle Techniques family all disappeared. Overlord and some others also disappeared. The threat of Star Source planet, the Undying God King Desolate Beasts on Star Beast planet all disappeared overnight. From then on, this space no longer had the invincible Emperor-level battle techniques. However, in an even brighter and more prosperous starry sky, the arrogant life of being invincible in battle techniques had just begun. Boss, I'm leaving first. I'm going to the central region of the Imperial Star Field. The two old fellows won't let me tell you the details of what I'm going to do. However, don't worry, boss. In the future, my invincible battle techniques will be very awesome. When you reach the central region, you must let me know. Boss, don't forget about this little brother of mine. Wang Xian, who was located in the Lorman Beast Park, suddenly received a message from Invincible Battle Technique. He was astonished. Chapter 2506 2506 2506 Beast Tide 1. This guy was taken away? Someone must have noticed his talent. He wasn't too surprised that Invincible was taken away by a powerful organization. An undying that wasn't even 1,000 years old in the resplendent region, he was indeed a heaven-defying existence, hence it was normal for some organizations to pay attention to him. The news that he was invincible in battle techniques did not affect him much. Wang Xian continued to tame the desolate beasts while learning the array formation. Roar, roar, roar. A month later, roars sounded one after another. Wang Xian stared excitedly at the two desolate beasts that were chasing the Imperial Star Lady. Blood-winged horses, 2 level 4 Immortal King blood-winged horses. Each of them was about 100 meters in size and had a pair of blood-red wings. Their heads were slightly ferocious and they looked extremely ferocious. After I tame these two blood-winged horses, I can move. Wang Xian muttered to himself as a smile appeared on his face. Formation rise. Seeing the two level 4 Immortal King level desolate beasts entering the formation, Wang Xian immediately opened the formation. Suppress. He ordered Ao He who was beside him. Ao He flew over instantly and used his powerful claws to suppress the two desolate beasts. Roar, roar, roar. The two Immortal King desolate beasts let out roars of shock and anger. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face and immediately flew over to tame them. Hoo hoo. On the side, Emperor Star Lady was panting heavily as she wiped the sweat off her forehead. The higher the level of the desolate beasts, the harder it was to attract them over. It took her a full 5 hours to attract these two desolate beasts. There are 4 now. Including the desolate beast that I tamed previously, there are a total of 4 Immortal King level 4 beasts. Wang Xian mumbled. In the past 2 months, the number of battle pets that Wang Xian tamed had reached around 60. Especially in this 1 month as it was in the central region, he was lucky enough to tame 5 to 6 at once. Out of the 20 Immortal King level desolate beasts, there were 4 at level 4, 10 at level 3, and the rest were at level 2 and level 1. The number of these war pets could cause the entire region to boil. Back then, the entire Easternly Celestial Empire was about to be destroyed under the attacks of these war pets. This power is enough. Wang Xian looked at the blood-winged horse that had been tamed in front of him. His eyes flashed with a cold glint. Alright, I won't capture it for the time being. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu who was beside him. It's finally over. Di Xingnu heaved a sigh of relief. For the past 2 months, she had been holding in her anger every day. From now on, there's nothing for you guys to do. If you want to leave, just leave. Wang Xian said to her. Following that, he gave an order to the blood-winged horse. The two blood-winged horses immediately flew towards their nest. What are you going to do after taming the dire beasts and letting them leave? Di Xing, asked Wang Xian with some doubts. There are some things that need to be dealt with. Let's make way. Wang Xian smiled faintly and said to Di Xing, and the rest. Deal with things? Di Xing, had a puzzled look on her face. She followed Wang Xian and flew to the side. Wang Xian stood in the sky and looked at the territories of the Immortal King desolate beasts. Roar. Not long after, roars were suddenly heard from the front. The roars were filled with pressure and brutality. That's the territory of the blood-winged horse. Emperor Star Lady stood at the side, looking at the source of the roars with a surprised expression. Roar, roar, roar. Very quickly, roars that shook the sky responded. A spot in the Lorman Desolate Beast Park began to shake. Desolate beasts let out low roars as they slowly gathered together. Roar roar roar. From time to time, there would be an undying god king desolate beast roaring. The commotion in the Lorman desolate beast park grew bigger and bigger. This is. Emperor Star Lady looked ahead in shock, her eyes gleaming. These desolate beasts were all attracted over by her, hence she was very clear about the territories of the tamed desolate beasts. From her senses, these disturbances were all coming from these desolate beasts. Clearly, these disturbances were ordered by that fellow beside her. More and more undyings roared, many undyings below the level of undying emperor rushed towards the direction of the Iron Blood Alliance. And as more and more undyings joined in, some untamed undyings were also affected. The 4 undyings roared at the undyings, many of them joined in, rushing towards the Iron Blood Alliance. As they advanced, more and more desolate beasts joined in. You are going to. Emperor Star Lady widened her eyes and looked at Wang Xian in shock. Let's go. Wang Xian smiled and followed by the side of all the desolate beasts. With the guidance of the 60 immortal king-level desolate beasts that he had tamed, a beast tide was formed very quickly. Furthermore, the number of the beast tide was increasing at a terrifying speed. The number of the beast tide this time was twice as many as the previous one. The Dragon King is creating a beast tide to attack the Iron Blood Alliance. Aunt Ying flew over at this time and said with a twinkle in her eyes. Is he trying to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance? Celestial Emperor Lady said with a frown. It's possible. The last time the Dragon King helped the Iron Blood Alliance, it seemed that the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to harm him, so this time the Dragon King and the others are going to take revenge. Enning said slowly. This? Imperial Star Lady did not know what to say. The Iron Blood Alliance repaid kindness with enmity. This was indeed infuriating, but the Dragon King's revenge could very possibly destroy the entire Iron Blood Alliance, resulting in countless deaths and injuries. The Iron Blood Alliance is courting death. Miss, let's follow by the side and watch. As Aunt Ying said, she brought Imperial Star Lady to follow behind. The beast tide was moving forward from the center of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park. According to the speed of some desolate beasts, it would take at least a day for them to reach the Iron Blood Alliance. However, Wang Xian was not in a hurry. The people from the Iron Blood Alliance would not be able to escape. Have you found out about the news of the Dragon King? At the same time, in a luxurious palace of the Iron Blood Alliance, a group of more than 20 people were sitting inside. 2 old men in metal armor were sitting in the leader's seat. As they sat there, waves of uncontrollable murderous aura spread out in all directions. The weak ones didn't dare to look at the 2 old men at all. Lord Defender General, we haven't received any news about the Dragon King yet. We'll send more people to investigate the news now. The Iron Blood Alliance Master said with a frown. It's been more than 2 months and there's still no news? Let me say it. We'll directly attack the Dragon Palace's lair. One of the Defender Generals sitting at the front said with a cold face. Chapter 2507. 2507 2507 Beast Tide 2. Country Defending General, if we attack the Dragon Palace directly, we're afraid that the Dragon Palace Dragon King can easily escape. When that time comes, it'll be difficult to kill him. Within the Iron Blood Alliance Palace, an Iron Blood Alliance elder frowned and said. Undying emperors weren't easy to kill. If they wanted to escape with their strength, they couldn't stop them at all. The moment they couldn't kill the Dragon Emperor once, the next time would be even harder. Since you all know that attacking the Dragon Palace might allow the Dragon Emperor to escape, then quickly find out his exact location. The 2 defending generals of the Raging Flame God Dynasty said angrily. They hadn't heard anything from the Dragon Emperor in over 2 months. They were already getting impatient. Yes, our Iron Blood Alliance will definitely get news about the Dragon Emperor as soon as possible. The Iron Blood Alliance members immediately replied. They didn't dare to go against the 2 generals of the Raging Flame Empire. The Flame Undying Empire had already promised that the moment they destroyed the Dragon King, they would be willing to set up a super long-distance array to connect the Iron Blood Alliance to them. The moment this array was set up, the Iron Blood Alliance would be in danger, and they could immediately send help to the Raging Flame Empire. The Raging Flame Divine Dynasty would also guarantee to send reinforcements. This was a huge opportunity for the entire Iron Blood Alliance. As long as they connected to the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty, they would be able to step into the territory of the Raging Flame Divine Dynasty. It would also be of great benefit to the development of the Iron Blood Alliance. As for the matter of betraying the Dragon Palace and killing the Dragon King, they had long forgotten about it due to the benefits in front of them. Let's do it as soon as possible. The two country protection generals' expressions softened as they said, "Not good, Alliance Master, not good. In the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, there are large numbers of desolate beasts attacking us." At this moment, a figure walked into the hall in a panic and exclaimed, "What? There's a beast tide attacking us? Didn't the beast tide just erupt?" Within the hall, the Iron Blood Alliance warriors were shocked. They immediately stood up and said, we don't know either. Through the satellite and our Alliance scouts, the beast tide this time is even bigger than the last time. We already know that there are 5 Undying Emperor Level 4 beasts. We estimate that they will reach us in 2 hours. The reporting middle-aged man said with a pale face. The beast tide that erupted not long ago, according to the past situation, there won't be a beast tide for at least a few hundred to a few thousand years. The Iron Blood Alliance leader's expression was extremely ugly as he said, "Ring the bell, all soldiers prepare for battle." An Iron Blood Alliance elder said with a dark expression, "Yes." An elder beside him immediately replied, "Beast Horde? Are there any Undying Level 5 desolate beasts?" The two Flame God Empire generals in front of them raised their eyebrows and asked, "No, we didn't find any Undying Level 5 desolate beasts." The middle-aged man immediately said, "Two generals, our Iron Blood Alliance has always been under threat from the Lorman Desolate Beast Park, but the Beast Horde has never had any Undying Level 5 desolate beasts involved. Undying God King Level 5 desolate beasts live in the center of the Desolate Beast Park. They do not need to fight over territory." An Iron Blood Alliance ancestor immediately said, "Since that's the case, we will help you suppress the Beast Horde this time." The two Guardian generals looked at each other and said calmly. Their faces were filled with confidence. "Thank you two generals for your help. With your help, we can easily suppress all the desolate beasts." The Iron Blood Alliance members were excited. Even though the beast tide was strong with the Flame God Dynasty's 2 Undying Level 5 warriors, they could easily defend against it. Even if the two generals were willing to help, the two of them could defend against all the Undying Emperor desolate beasts. This was the strength of an Undying Level 5 warrior. Go. The two generals nodded indifferently. They didn't care about the Beast Horde at all. They could easily defend against the Beast Horde. Wong. The group moved and swiftly flew towards the front lines. So. Prepare for battle. The Beast Horde has invaded. Kill them. At this moment, in the middle of the Lorman Desolate Beast Park and the Iron Blood Alliance, countless Iron Blood Alliance soldiers were flying towards them. All of them were roaring with killing intent. In less than half an hour, just like last time, the city walls were filled with densely packed Iron Blood Alliance soldiers. Tens of billions of soldiers, their hands holding weapons, stared coldly ahead. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance stood around the two defending generals of the Flame Undying God Dynasty, staring ahead. Right now, they could already feel the terrifying aura and the roar of the desolate beasts ahead. What terrifying power! Hiss, the beast tide this time is much stronger than last time. Even if the desolate beasts had not arrived, all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance felt the immense pressure coming from the front. This caused many of the soldiers' faces to turn slightly pale. All the soldiers need not worry. With the two Guardian Generals of the Raging Flame Divine Empire helping us to resist the Divine Empire, we can easily kill all the desolate beasts. We will definitely win this battle. The Iron Blood Alliance leader was not too worried about the beast tide this time. He roared at everyone with a smile on his face. We will definitely win. When all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance heard the Alliance leader's words, joy appeared on their faces. They naturally knew that the Raging Flame Divine Empire belonged to the powerful Divine Empire opposite the Lorman Desolate Beast Garden. With the help of the experts of the Raging Flame Divine Empire, they would definitely be able to easily defend against the beast tide this time. Howl. It's coming. At this time, the roars of the desolate beasts were getting closer and closer. They could see the ferocious desolate beasts at the front. In the front row, over 70 Undying Emperor desolate beasts were giving off terrifying power. In the middle, 5 huge Undying Level 4 desolate beasts. A brutal aura rushed over. Over 70, there are actually over 70 Undying Emperor desolate beasts. The beast tide this time is almost double the previous time. Luckily there are the two lords of the raging flame god dynasty. When everyone saw over 70 undying emperor desolate beasts, their faces were filled with shock. With so many powerful desolate beasts, if no one helped them, their Iron Blood Alliance would be destroyed. With us here, don't worry. The flame undying general looked ahead and said indifferently. Without an undying level 5 desolate beast, they didn't need to take it to heart. The two moved and floated in mid-air, staring indifferently at the 70 over undying level emperor desolate beasts. Chapter 2508 2508 2508 Beast Tide 3. Ha! Prepare to face the enemy. Share some of the pressure for the two lords. When the experts of the Iron Blood Alliance saw the two guardian generals of the raging flame god dynasty standing in the air, their eyes revealed an excited look as they roared. So. One figure after another immediately came behind the two and stared coldly at the beast tide in front of them. With the two country defending generals here, these desolate beasts are just our resources. Below them, the 5 emissaries, princes, and a group of youths from the raging flame divine empire were looking forward with smiles on their faces. Similarly, they did not take the beast tide seriously this time. Are they all here? At the same time, at the side of the beast tide, Wang Xian looked at the soldiers at the front line of the Iron Blood Alliance. Looking at the dozens of immortal god king powerhouses floating in the sky, a faint smile appeared on his face. His gaze landed on the two figures in the middle, and his eyes were shining. Dragon King, the two in the middle should have the combat strength of a level 5 immortal king. He stood beside him and whispered. Okay. Wang Xian nodded slightly. You will deal with the two of them later. The two level 5 immortal king level powerhouses were obviously from the Blazing Flame Empire. The reason why the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to kill him was also because of the Blazing Flame Empire. The Blazing Flame Empire is not a force in this region. I should not have provoked them. Wang Xian mumbled. However, since you guys want to kill me, then just wait for your doom. As he spoke, an extremely sinister expression appeared on his face. Do it. Wang Xian shouted in a low voice and ordered immediately. Bus. In the next moment, Xie who was at the side vanished. Roar. At the same time, at the front of the beast tide, 60 immortal king-level desolate beasts sensed Wang Xian's order and let out a furious roar. The other 10 immortal king-level desolate beasts that were led over also roared when they saw the roars of their own kind around them. Their eyes were filled with bloodlust. With each roar below, all the desolate beasts below Undying God King charged forward. A bunch of beasts go die. The two defending generals floating in the air stared disdainfully at the 70 desolate beasts in front of them, waving their arms. One of them had a large blade in his hand, while the other held a small city-like weapon. Leave these beasts to the two of us. Kill all the other desolate beasts. The two country defending generals said proudly. Their bodies moved and slashed at the 70 over Undying God Emperor desolate beasts. All right, then I'll have to trouble the two generals. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance revealed excited expressions. At this time, they felt that cooperating with the Raging Flame God Dynasty was worth it. Kill? A defender general roared and raised the long blade in his hand, slashing forward. More than 70 immortal king desolate beasts in front of them felt the terrifying attack power, causing a commotion. Especially those desolate beasts that were not subdued by Wang Xian, they were shaking their bodies in fear. Roar. However, at this moment, an even more terrifying oppressive sound was heard. It went straight for the terrifying blade light. Roar. Sensing this aura, the tamed desolate beasts let out an excited roar. Ping! The saber beam collided with an incomparably huge claw and instantly dissipated. Oh, what? The two calm and composed country protection generals saw a huge creature suddenly appear. Sensing its terrifying strength, their expressions changed. Roar. Before they could react, another terrifying existence appeared from the huge beast. Two huge figures attacked the two of them. Shit, these two are Undying God King level 5 desolate beasts. One of the country defending generals shouted in shock. What? How is this possible? How can there be an Undying God King level 5 desolate beast? Below, when everyone heard the general's words, their bodies froze, their faces filled with shock. Especially the people from the Iron Blood Alliance, their faces instantly paled. These are two undying level 5 desolate beasts. They immediately raised their heads and looked up, seeing the two terrifying creatures, their bodies trembled. No, these creatures are so familiar, so familiar. Suddenly, the Ironblood Alliance master stared at the two terrifying creatures and muttered. The more he looked like the powerful creatures described in the AI. Those were the Dragon King's subordinates. Roar. At this moment, another extremely terrifying roar sounded. This was the third sound. The source of the roar was naturally Ao Crab's body. The ones who attacked were naturally Ao Crab and his devouring dragons. The third undying level 5 undying level devouring dragon crawled out from his body and attacked the two flame god generals. Damn, what kind of monster is this? One of the generals saw the third creature appear and his expression became ugly. He roared fiercely. The two of us will hold back these two undying level 5 God King desolate beasts, the rest will be up to you. The other defender general roared softly, exchanging glances with the other. The two immediately flew into the distance. They wanted to lure the three undying level 5 God King desolate beasts away, otherwise the aftershocks of their battle would cause the Ironblood Alliance to suffer heavy losses, even destruction. However, with the two of them they could only pin down these three terrifying creatures. The two of them flew into the distance. Aosier and the rest had a glint in their eyes, but they didn't stop them. This is the time he. When Wang Xian saw the two level 5 Immortal King experts leaving, the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. A sinister look appeared on his face. The next moment, his body moved and flew towards the center of the battlefield at a terrifying speed. How could the beast tide this time be so terrifying? How could there be three Immortal King level 5 desolate beasts? How could it be? At this moment, many experts of the Ironblood Alliance were still shocked by the sudden appearance of the three Immortal King level 5 experts. Only the Ironblood Alliance leader's expression changed as he thought of a possibility. Wang. Suddenly, everyone felt the entire space change. Huge black holes appeared out of thin air and the entire space became extremely strange. At that moment, the wild beasts below undying level felt the change in space and began to stir. The entire strange space actually covered an area of 400 to 500 million kilometers. Due to the dense beast horde battle lines, all the desolate beasts and people from the Ironblood Alliance were covered. It's the Dragon Palace Dragon King. It's the Dragon Palace Dragon King. The Ironblood Alliance master saw this strange space and was completely certain of it. He widened his eyes and roared in disbelief. Chapter 2509. 2509 Beast Tide 4. Dragon Palace Dragon King? This is obviously a beast tide, how can it be Dragon Palace Dragon King? The Ironblood Alliance leader's words caused everyone's faces to reveal shock and shock. This space is exactly the same as what the AI described. I can't sense my own undying country. This is the space, it's Dragon King. At the side, an undying God King's heart skipped a beat. He looked at the space around him and widened his eyes. His face was filled with fear as he shouted in shock. Ironblood Alliance, long time no see. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. Roar. Roar. Wang Xian's figure flew towards the front of the group of desolate beasts. Among them, the dozens of Immortal King desolate beasts that were led over saw a human flying towards them. They stared at him with a grim expression and let out a furious roar. However, just as they recalled their roar, more than 60 Immortal King desolate beasts roared at them at the same time. Their grim gazes warned them. Roar. The dozens of Immortal King desolate beasts let out a low roar and scanned their surroundings restlessly. Roar. They tried to escape but realized that they could not sense their nest at all. This made them even more restless. The 60 over desolate beasts that were tamed by Wang Xian looked at them and let out a warning roar again. Roar. The dozens of Immortal King desolate beasts let out a low growl in response. Facing the 60 over Immortal King desolate beasts, they quieted down. At this moment, Wang Xian had already arrived in front of all the Immortal King desolate beasts. He was smiling as he stared at the people from the Ironblood Alliance. Hiss. Seeing Wang Xian floating in front of all the desolate beasts and seeing the desolate beasts standing quietly behind him, everyone from the Ironblood Alliance gasped in unison. It's you, it's really you, Dragon King? The leader of the Ironblood Alliance widened his eyes and stared at Wang Xian with an extremely ugly expression. The surrounding experts from the Iron Blood Alliance also narrowed their eyes slightly and wore a gloomy expression. It's that guy. This beast tide. This guy. At the side, the Lord of the Blazing Inferno dynasty and the group of young men were also staring at Wang Xian in astonishment. Is he the Dragon King? The 5 emissaries of the Blazing Inferno dynasty also felt their hearts pounding violently as they looked at the beast-tide army with a solemn expression. It's that Dragon King. What's going on? How could the Dragon King order the beast tide? Isn't the Dragon King the benefactor of our Iron Blood Alliance? Yeah, what's going on? Is the Dragon King here to help us? The ordinary soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance did not know that they were going to kill the Dragon King. When they saw Wang Xian standing opposite them, they opened their mouths slightly. Iron Blood Alliance, are you familiar with the beast tide? Not long ago you guys encountered a beast tide. I, the Dragon King, led my men to help you. Wang Xian's gaze swept across everyone in the Iron Blood Alliance as he spoke in a slightly sinister tone. Dragon King, then, those 3 Immortal King level 5 powerhouses are your men. Sensing Wang Xian's gaze, the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance clenched his fists tightly as he asked in a low voice. His voice was trembling slightly. What do you think? The corners of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. The last time I, the Dragon King, helped you guys. In the end, you guys repaid my kindness with enmity and wanted to kill me instead. Aha, Iron Blood Alliance, good, very good. This is the first time that I have met such an ungrateful person. Since that's the case, I will have to bear the revenge from the Dragon Palace. This beast tide is a gift from me to you guys. Are you satisfied? He stared coldly at the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance and spoke with murderous intent. What? Why would the Iron Blood Alliance want to? His words caused the expressions of all the soldiers of the Iron Blood Alliance who were unaware of the situation to change drastically. Why would the Iron Blood Alliance want to kill the Dragon King? Dragon King, we have no other choice. We have no other choice. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance was trembling as he stared at Wang Xian with blood-red eyes. He growled in a low voice, Dragon King, are you trying to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance? That's right. Today I'm going to destroy the Iron Blood Alliance. I will let you know the consequences of trying to kill me. Wang Xian spoke to them without hiding anything. Beast tide. Beast tide. Dragon King, you actually launched such a huge beast tide to deal with us. You really think highly of us. One of the patriarchs of the Iron Blood Alliance looked at the Immortal King Desolate Beast behind Wang Xian with blood-red eyes. His face was filled with regret as he growled. I have spent a lot of effort to capture all of you in one go. Wang Xian looked at him with a mocking expression. Capture all of you in one go. When everyone heard Wang Xian's words, they felt their scalps turn numb and their hearts turn cold. Something big is going to happen. At the side, the heart of the Lord of the Blazing Dynasty was beating violently. He had a bad premonition. Beside him, the 5 envoys were also holding their weapons tightly, extremely nervous. This time they had kicked an iron board. This Dragon Palace doesn't only have 3 undying level 4 warriors, how can they be so strong? How can there be 3 undying level 5 warriors here? An emissary from the Raging Flame God Dynasty couldn't help but roar. They had followed the Emperor's orders to kill the Dragon King, and now they realized that the Dragon King's power wasn't weaker than theirs, or even stronger. Kill? With what? Weren't they sending themselves to their deaths? What do we do? The Dragon King's power is too terrifying, 3 level 5 undying fighters, it's not hard for them to kill us. Damn it, we've done something wrong this time, we have to get the Dragon King to forgive us, otherwise our Iron Blood Alliance. In the center, a few of the Iron Blood Alliance elders and alliance leaders said softly. They had completely lost their sense of propriety. Dragon King, this time it's our fault, we're willing to apologize and give the Iron Blood Alliance a chance. We are doing this for the future of the Iron Blood Alliance, but we haven't done anything yet. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance begged for mercy. Do you think that I don't know about your Iron Blood Alliance sending people to look for my information? It's too late to beg for mercy now. Kill? Wang Xian didn't want to talk to them anymore. He waved his arm and ordered loudly. Roar, roar, roar. Behind them, the 60 Immortal King Desolate Beasts let out an attack roar in unison. Following that, they immediately pounced forward. Not good, defend and defend. Dragon King, can't you give us a chance? Seeing all the Desolate Beasts charging at them, the chief of the Iron Blood Alliance roared in fear. You deserve it. Wang Xian's eyes were cold. Roar. Behind all the desolate beasts, a huge creature flew over from behind. Its terrifying aura made everyone tremble. Immortal King Level 5 Devouring Dragon. Chapter 2510. 2510-2510 had brought this upon himself. An undying level 5 being, and an undying level 5 being. When a swallowing dragon's roar covered all sounds, the moment all the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance saw him fly over. Everyone's faces were filled with disbelief, their faces filled with shock. Dragon Palace, there was still an undying level 5 being hiding in this space. Stunned at this time, everyone was stunned. How do we fight? An undying level 1 warrior looked sadly at the beast tied in Dragon Palace's undying level 5 warrior. On their side, the strongest were only 3 undying level 4 ancestors. However, there were already 5 undying level 4 desolate beasts on the other side. They were already at a disadvantage now against a level 5 undying. How could they fight? No, Dragon King, how can you have such terrifying strength? Iron Blood Alliance leader couldn't believe it as he looked at another level 5 undying, his eyes bloodshot. With such terrifying strength, would the East Li Immortal Dynasty still dare to provoke the Dragon King? If they knew that the Dragon King had such power, why would they still dare to cooperate with the Raging Flame Immortal Dynasty? If they knew, they would cling onto the Dragon Palace. As long as the Dragon King nodded, what kind of beast-tied crisis would they have to face? The strength displayed by the Dragon Palace had already surpassed that of the Raging Flame Immortal Dynasty. What a joke. Wang Xian looked at the disbelief on his face and his face was filled with mockery. Roar. Following that, what greeted the Iron Blood Alliance was the terrifying Dragon Claw attack of the Devouring Dragon. That huge body and 18 terrifying claws instantly appeared in front of the 40 immortal kings of the Iron Blood Alliance and tore them apart. Run. Feeling the swallowing dragon's terrifying attack, the Iron Blood Alliance ancestor howled in fear. They didn't even have the desire to defend, turning and fleeing madly. I can't return to my god country, we're finished. However, in the next moment, screams of pain resounded. Mixed within were screams of panic and despair. They could no longer sense their god country facing this terrifying beast horde. What they faced was death and destruction. No. The screams were from over 10 undying level 1 warriors, and countless soldiers below. When the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance heard these screams, blood flowed out of their eyes, they turned around and roared in despair. Below, the beast tide had already charged into their group of warriors. There were even a few undying God King desolate beasts wreaking havoc. Those warriors who had not reached the undying God King realm did not have the ability to resist at all. Seeing this scene, all the warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance collapsed. Those were their warriors, many of them were their descendants, and they were being slaughtered. It was all because of their choices and their ingratitude. Dragon King, stop. We surrender. An elder of the Iron Blood Alliance could not help but turn around and shout at Wang Xian in despair. They were afraid, really afraid. The Dragon King's influence was too strong. It was a piece of cake to destroy them. They were afraid that after the Dragon King destroyed them, he would destroy their planet. If the Dragon King really did that, who would be able to stop him? They had protected the planet for millions or even tens of millions of years for generations. Because of their choices, because of their ingratitude, they were destroyed. They didn't want to see that. Stop, we surrender. Seeing an elder crumble and stand there in despair, the rest of the Iron Blood Alliance warriors trembled and stopped. Some of the immortal godly kings were even kneeling there. Spare our lives, spare our clansmen. Plop. The leader of the Iron Blood Alliance kneeled in the air and lowered his head towards Wang Xian. Spare you? If not for my strength, I would probably be the one to die, right? Wang Xian stared at them expressionlessly. There was no mercy in his eyes. Dragon King, what do you need to do to be willing to let us off? Bang. As one of the patriarchs of the Iron Blood Alliance spoke, he knelt down as well and spoke with a pained expression. The rest of the experts of the Iron Blood Alliance also knelt down immediately. They had already lost the ability and qualification to resist. No matter what, they had to die. However, they didn't want to die. All of you have committed your own mistakes and implicated your clansmen. You have brought your own sins upon yourselves. Commit suicide immediately. I can let your clansmen off." Wang Xian looked at the members of the Iron Blood Alliance who were kneeling there with a mocking expression on his face. Now he knew regret and begged for mercy. If Wang Xian was a weakling in this matter, he would be the one to die. He would definitely not let off those who wanted to kill him. "What? You want us to commit suicide?" Wang Xian's words made their faces turn pale. Their eyes were filled with fear. They were all immortal king-level existences with a lifespan of 1,000,000 years. They didn't want to die. However, there were continuous screams from below. When they looked over, their hearts were beating violently. Wang Xian stared at them coldly without saying a word. He just stared at them coldly. Every second, many people would be eaten and torn apart by the desolate beasts. However, they were not worthy of sympathy. This was because their forefather had committed a mistake, and their forefather had to bear the consequences. Now their forefather was able to save them. They were killed because of their forefather. "Forefather, we are all going to die anyway. Kill ourselves. At least we can let our clansmen live." Haha, the strong prey on the weak. This time, it's our Iron Blood Alliance's fault. It's our fault. We have to pay the price in blood. Pooh. An immortal king level 3 powerhouse's body trembled. He let out a bitter laugh as his palm landed directly on his head. They had lost, they had lost. They had lost because of their ingratitude and their greed. "Dragon King, make these desolate beasts stop. We are willing to commit suicide." The Iron Blood Alliance leader's body trembled as he roared at Wang Xian. "Boss." Wang Xian waved his hand. "Roar, roar, roar." At the next moment, the 60 tamed immortal king desolate beasts let out an angry roar. All the desolate beasts trembled and did not dare to continue attacking. They shrunk back in fear. "Members of the Iron Blood Alliance, remember, do not avenge us." The 3 patriarchs closed their eyes weakly and spat out blood slowly. "Forefathers." Some of the soldiers looked over and their faces were filled with tears. No, Dragon King. Our Iron Blood Alliance has already admitted our mistakes. Can't we just let us go?" A middle-aged man glared at Wang Xian and shouted angrily. "Boom." However, just as he finished his sentence, a terrifying claw struck directly at his position. "No." The middle-aged man's face was filled with horror as he shouted in fear. Bang! As the claw landed, thousands of people around him were affected and died instantly. "It's already merciful of me to let all of you off." The devouring dragon's cold voice resounded in everyone's ears. Wang Xian looked at him coldly. If the Dragon Palace was weak, would they let him off if the Dragon Palace begged for mercy? Obviously not. Chapter 2511. 2511 had become the king of this region. This. Within the black hole, everyone saw that because a soldier roared at the Dragon King, he was directly killed by the terrifying expert of the Dragon Palace, and thousands of people around him died because of his words. Everyone's hearts turned cold, and their eyes were filled with fear. Now they truly realized that their lives and deaths were completely in the hands of the Dragon King. Because of their kindness and enmity, the Dragon King had come to destroy them. It was already merciful of the Dragon King to let them go. At this time, they also knew that if they dared to show any dissatisfaction, or even think about taking revenge on the Dragon King in the future, then the powerhouses of the Dragon Palace would destroy all of them now. This time it's our fault. We've harmed you. Remember, don't take revenge. An Iron Blood Alliance elder stared at everyone sadly and roared softly. After they were killed, there wouldn't be a single undying emperor in the entire Iron Blood Alliance. It was impossible for the Iron Blood Alliance to take revenge for them. The entire Iron Blood Alliance had millions of years to reach their current level, and there were only 3 undying Emperor Level 4 warriors. They could not be compared to the Dragon Palace and Dragon King. Taking revenge was courting death. It's the Elder. All the soldiers looked at the powerhouses of the Iron Blood Alliance and lowered their heads slowly. Although the disaster this time was caused by the upper echelons of the Iron Blood Alliance, it was still for the sake of the entire Iron Blood Alliance. They had nothing to blame. Dragon King, I hope you can give us a way out. The experts from the Iron Blood Alliance looked at Wang Xian with pleading faces as they growled in a low voice. All of you look like victims. Wang Xian looked at them with a mocking expression on his face. With his personality and the future plans of the Dragon Palace, with the strength of the Dragon Palace, would the Dragon Palace not help them when the Iron Blood Alliance gave the ocean to the Dragon Palace in the future? Obviously it was impossible. If they came to beg him, he would protect them too. But the Iron Blood Alliance wanted to kill him. What could they do? The Iron Blood Alliance was destroyed in our hands. The undying fighters muttered in despair. Pooh pooh pooh. They all closed their eyes, their arms landing heavily on their heads. Very quickly their bodies fell, the 40 or so Iron Blood Alliance undyings all committed suicide. Rumble this, what do we do? What do we do? Not far away, a group of over 10 undyings stood there stiffly. Beside them there were 5 powerful undyings. However, at this time, their foreheads were covered in cold sweat. Looking at the corpses of the Iron Blood Alliance, their bodies trembled. 40 undyings all committing suicide even in their area, it was a shocking thing. The warriors of the Iron Blood Alliance all committed suicide? What about them? The Dragon King is looking at us, the Dragon King is looking at us. At this time, a youth suddenly said in fear, his voice even filled with tears. That's right, the Dragon King looked at them. A few of the young men cried out in fear. The 5 emissaries of the Blazing Flame Empire, the king of the Blazing Flame Empire, also trembled. His face was filled with panic. Gulp. They gulped and looked at the Dragon King with a pale face. I have a question. I don't know your Blazing Flame Empire at all. Why did you want to kill me? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and asked the people from the Blazing Flame Divine Empire. We don't know either. We don't know either. The people immediately shook their heads and couldn't help but retreat backward. You don't know? How could you not know? Don't worry. I will destroy your Blazing Flame Divine Empire. All of you must die too. Wang Xian looked at them mockingly and said coldly, Roar. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, the devouring dragon immediately attacked them. No, don't kill us. Don't kill us. Terrified pleas for mercy sounded. The blazing flame god roared at everyone with a face full of despair. Bang bang bang. However, in the next moment, the devouring dragon's attack landed on them. Soul Catcher. Wang Xian waved his arm and grabbed one of the emissaries and the prince. Countless information appeared in his mind. Roar. After casting Soul Capture, the dragon claw of the devouring dragon pierced through their corpses. Boom, boom, boom. One by one, the corpses fell to the ground and smashed onto the hearts of everyone from the Iron Blood Alliance. They naturally knew that the Blazing Flame Divine Empire was a powerful force from another region. The Iron Blood Alliance had always been trying to curry favor with them. Now that they had been killed by an expert from the Dragon Palace, they didn't take him seriously at all. At this moment, tens of billions of people from the Iron Blood Alliance looked at the figure floating in the sky. Their eyes were filled with respect and complicated feelings. The young master from the central region wants to kill himself. After a long while, Wang Xian, who was floating in the sky, slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were sparkling. He frowned slightly and a pensive look appeared on his face. There was only one person in the central area that he knew, the Queen of the Imperial Star. Is it because of her? Wang Xian mumbled and looked to the side. Aunt Ying and the Queen of the Imperial Star were hiding there. He swept his gaze across the surroundings and waved his arm. The black hole disturbance formation slowly dissipated. At the same time, a corner of the Dragon Palace appeared behind him. Prime Minister Gue, bring some men over to take care of this place. Wang Xian immediately ordered Prime Minister Gue, who was in the Dragon Palace. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gue's reply was heard immediately. How is this possible? How is this possible? At this moment, a voice filled with shock and horror resounded across the entire sky. Wang Xian looked over with a cold look in his eyes. At this moment, in the distant starry sky, the 2 level 5 immortal king powerhouses from the Blazing God dynasty were looking over with shocked expressions. Ever since the strange formation enveloped this area, they had a bad premonition. They wanted to rush over and break the formation, but they were completely unable to break through the defense when facing 3 terrifying creatures. However, it had only been a few minutes. They actually saw the corpses of the experts from the Raging Flame Divine Empire and the experts from the Iron Blood Alliance. What made them especially terrified was that the corpses of the Iron Blood Alliance seemed to have committed suicide. This made their bodies tremble. Get out of this starry sky. It won't be long before my dragon palace sets foot on your raging flame divine empire. Wang Xian looked at the two defending generals of the raging flame empire, his eyes filled with killing intent. Roar, roar, roar. The devouring dragon let out a violent roar and attacked them directly. Including this devouring dragon, there were a total of 4 Immortal King level 5 powerhouses. Oh no, they have another Immortal King level 5 powerhouse. Seeing a devouring dragon of the same level charging over, their hair stood on end. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.